Motorcycles back here are for sale, am I correct?
Yeah, we're not running any of the bikes through the auction today. Basically, we brought some bikes out just to give the car enthusiasts a little bit of a taste on what we are going to be bringing this fall. And of course, everybody that has or four wheels also, I'm sure, has had a two-wheeler in their life somewhere. Or like Wayne mentioned, when you go into an old barn and you're looking for an old car, you usually find a couple old bikes under the tarps as well. So long story short, there's a real connection with both the cars and the bikes. But to get back to the question, yeah, the bikes we have here today are all available for private treaty sales. So if you're interested in any one of the bikes, come on back and see myself or Wayne Pitt, my partner in the bike portion of the Auctions America, and we'll be happy to tell you what we have and maybe make a sale today.
Super. Put you guys on the spot here a little bit. I think that recommendations for the crowd might be, Reggie, if you were really, do you have something in mind that you're really hot on right at the present time that you feel is a great buy?
There's a couple of things that I'm personally looking for, and I also think they're good buys. I do think that straight axle Corvettes have a ways to go, and there's some opportunity there. I think you can make some good buys with them. I think they have some growth potential. I do think some of the Camaros are starting to take off. I'm chasing a couple of Camaros at the moment, and as Wayne had mentioned, as well as Joe, if I have 60 or cars or whatever it may be, I probably have 30 that are untouched and unrestored. And so it's only untouched and unrestored and original once. And usually the buyer, an educated buyer that's looking for a car, he can see completely right through the car. It's, the new term today with government's transparency. And certainly an automobile that's original is transparent. You can see what you're getting. So I've been focusing on that. And then for the other end of it, on a little higher level, I've been chasing some Ferraris in the past couple of years. They just never seem to stop growing money. And so I also like them, but at the same time, they've been pretty good investments. I'd like to make one comment about buying cars for investment. I've set records when I've made purchases, and usually the reason that I've set records is because I have a love of the automobile. So if you're going to buy something, part of that price is how it's going to make you feel and how you are going to use it and enjoy it. And like most collectors, I can enjoy it without driving it. I can enjoy it just by looking at it because I just appreciate the styling or the lines or whatever it may be. I do drive my cars, maybe not much, but I do enjoy driving them. But it's what's in your heart, that what you like is what's important. Investing in cars and buying cars for profit is one thing, but buying for the love of them, or what you've always wanted, is just as important as buying it. I think more important than buying for investment.
I agree 100% on that, Reggie. I think that's great news for everybody. If you grew up with something or you just absolutely have a love for a certain model, make, whatever it is, it doesn't make any difference what the price is. It doesn't make any difference if you own the car for the next 5 or 10 years and get all that enjoyment out of it. And most of the time, collector cars go up in value. You can't beat it. It's really a great hobby that we're in. But I think, Reggie, you hit on it really. The importance is the love of the automobile. I think that's the real key. Wayne, what do you feel is up and coming? What would you hold on to that you feel is going to be a future collectible that's really going to grow? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Whatever makes you happy, if it's in your collection and you really enjoy the car and you get a lot of use out of it, and every time you open the garage, you look at it and you've got a smile on your face, that's the car to hold on to, because you sell that type of car and then you regret it afterwards. Whatever makes you smile, makes the family love to be together with a car, I think that's really important. As far as exact models, I think 300 SL Mercedes still are very undervalued. So if you've got one of those, either in a Roadster or a Gullwing, I think that's a car to hang on to right now that's got great growth potential in the future. BMW 3.0 CSIs, I think, are really great cars, something to hang on to because they certainly haven't even started to go up yet. But basically, whatever makes you smile and make you happy, that's the car to hang on to.
Joe, what do you think's kind of at the top of the market right now? Do you have a thought on what might be top of the market that you'd consider selling at this point, that you feel is the strong money?
I think that I don't like to think of the cars in terms of commodities to buy and sell, but in the end, you know, that's the reality. Part of the reality of collecting is that you have something that's worth money. I agree absolutely that you should always buy something that you really like so that no matter what happens, you're going to be happy with it. But the reality is that people that have invested in cars over the years have been on top always. And I think that that was proven in the last recession here. Some people call it a mild depression, call it whatever you want. Real estate is still in some trouble, and the stock market came back, but look how far it went down. The cars, I think, held up very, very well. And I find that a lot of people who kind of had car collecting in their blood are now investing in cars. There were people that had money, they were investing in the stock market or real estate. I think that they're now looking at the cars as kind of a combination of enjoyment and investment. And I'd say that there's a lot of good buys out there now. I like American cars. I've had Ferraris, I've had short wheelbase Berlinettas and short wheelbase California Roadsters, and they're always a good investment, as Reggie would attest to. But I like American cars. I like the straight axle Corvettes. I like Corvettes in general. I think they're totally depressed in the market. I think the market's bouncing back right now. Two-seater Thunderbirds are just the biggest bargain in the world in the market today. They're fantastic cars, and they're just priced for everybody. There's a couple Eldorado Bromes here. They've always been my favorite. They're really a concept car that went into production. So there's a lot of good cars to buy today, and a lot of good cars that will be a lot of fun for the years to come and probably turn out to be fantastic investments. I hate to tell you what I sold the 5 buses for. Well, I didn't sell them all. I gave some away. But, you know, for pennies, and then of course we all know what happened with the one bus that went through Barrett-Jackson for $4.2 million. So I don't think that there's a better investment for the whole picture of, you know, passing your time than cars and motorcycles. And speaking of motorcycles, I just have to say that I have a collection of 50 motorcycles, and if you go to bortzautocollection.com, you can see my cars and my motorcycle collection. And I think motorcycles are in their infancy. When I bought my Ferraris, I was buying them for $20,000 and $30,000 for short wheelbase Berlinettas. And I think that's where the motorcycles are today. I don't think there's a better investment out there. So, yeah, I think that the market is, I'd be a buyer in any place in the market today, not much of a seller.
Glenn, what kind of motorcycle are you lusting after right at the present here to buy?
Say that one more time. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
What motorcycle are you just chomping at the bit to have right now?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, a lot of times, especially in my business, if I kept everything I loved, I would basically be pushing a shopping cart with a big storage unit, because either that or living in the garage itself. So I have to basically, when I do my business, of course, I have to buy it, enjoy it, and sell it. So it's right now with regards to the motorcycles, like Joe had mentioned, the values of the bikes compared to the values of the cars is about, oh gosh, I'm going to say about 1/10 of the values. But with regard to the value increase and what you can make off of the bikes today, it's really climbing. And I've seen great bikes like Cyclones right now that are pushing, well gosh, which is an early American motorcycle back in the teens. That bike today is probably going to push around $1 million plus if you went to go find one and buy one. They're getting very rare, especially if you find an original paint bike, which again is same with the cars. It is only original once, so you want to go out and find some really good barn finds because that's where the value is. I mean, you could take a motorcycle and put $35,000 into the restoration, and it's worth less than the bike that you just found in the barn. So there is a lot of value with regards to the original paint stuff. And again, with regards to collecting the motorcycles, if you're passionate, you're going to go with what you grew up with. In other words, if you were a teenager in the 60s and you were raised around like a 750 Honda, that's basically what you're going to be sort of passionate about, and that's what you're going to be collecting. Now, like in 1969, which was the very first year for the Honda